Kiwi, the only bird with nostrils at the tip of its bill. Kiwis are small, pear-shaped, flightless birds that resemble a large, hairy pear and are found only in New Zealand. Given their inability to fly, kiwis are classified as ratites, birds whose sternum is smooth or raft-like because it lacks a keel where flight muscles attach, like their larger cousins, the cassowary, emu, ostrich, and rhea. They have small heads and no tail, and their bodies are covered in long, loose, hair-like feathers that are reddish-brown and streaked with darker brown and black. The kiwi also has modified feathers around the base of its elongated beak that are cat-like. Kiwis do have wings, which are approximately 1 inch long with a cat-like claw at the tip. But these wings are completely hidden under their feathers and utterly useless. Yet, don't let the kiwi's awkward appearance, inability to fly, and small stature fool you, because these birds can outrun a human. However, aside from their odd appearance, kiwis are the only birds in the world that have nostrils at the tip of their beaks, giving them a highly developed sense of smell. Given that the kiwi's eyes are small and do not see well at night, this heightened sense of smell, along with sensor pads at the tip of the bill, allows the kiwis to seek out grubs, worms, bugs, berries, and seeds as they forage from dusk to dawn. Not to worry though if the kiwi sniffs any dirt into its nostrils in the process. It can simply sneeze it out. Whiptail lizard, the only all-female lizard species. Whiptail lizards are slender-bodied diurnal lizards with long tails that range in size from 8 to 20 inches long. Given that there are approximately 60 different species that make up this lizard family, which stretches across North America, Central America, and South America, their colors, patterns, and markings vary greatly. However, it is not the lizard's physical characteristics, their high-speed run, or their wide-ranging habitats that make this species so special. As many as 1/3 of all whiptail species of the Aspidicellus genus, which are found in Mexico and the southwestern United States, are the sole female-only species that are parthenogenetic, meaning their eggs develop into embryos without any fertilization. So how is this possible? While whiptail lizards don't require a male partner, they do engage in mating behaviors with other females. This process, which is known as pseudocopulation, involves individual lizards switching between typical male and female sexual behaviors, which then results in enhanced ovulation. Whiptail lizards are then able to start the reproductive process with twice the number of chromosomes to create 8 copies of each during meiosis, cell division. This results in a standard pair of chromosomes that is derived from 2 sets of pairs. So how did this all-female species come to be? Scientists believe that at some point in their history, lizards of the Aspidicellus genus had a hybridization event in which females of one species broke form and mated with males of another species. This offspring of hybrids contained 2 different sets of chromosomes from 2 uniquely different species, providing the lizards with not only genetic variation, but an evolutionary advantage. Pangolin, the only mammal covered in scales. Pangolins, which are also referred to as scaly anteaters, are solitary nocturnal mammals that make their homes on the continents of Africa and Asia. They are 1 to 3 feet long, excluding the tail, and weigh 10 to 60 pounds. Pangolins have no teeth, but instead use their sticky tongues, which can be up to 16 inches long, to reach ants, termites, and larvae that are buried underground. However, what sets the pangolin apart from any other mammal is the fact that their bodies are covered with overlapping brownish scales. In fact, they are the only mammals wholly covered in scales. The name pangolin actually comes from the Malay word pengulung, which means one that rolls up. The name is quite fitting given that when threatened, they emit an odorous secretion from their anal glands, curl up into a ball, and expose their tough scales as a means of self-defense. The pangolin will even perform a cutting motion with the scales, should anything be inserted between them. Sadly, given that the pangolin's scales are made of keratin, the same material that is found in fingernails, hair, and rhino horns, they are also the most trafficked mammal in the world. Their meat is considered a delicacy, and their scales are used in traditional medicine as well as folk remedies, with the belief that they can assist with ailments such as lactation difficulties, arthritis, asthma, and rheumatism. Their skins are also used to make fashion accessories and leather products such as boots, bags, and belts. Thankfully, in 2016, 186 countries that are party to the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, CITES, announced an agreement to ban the commercial trade of pangolins in an attempt to protect the species from extinction. Additionally, in June 2020, China increased protection for the native Chinese pangolin species to the highest level, which also banned the use of pangolin scales in traditional medicine. Unfortunately, the illegal trade of this one-of-a-kind mammal continues. Due to its threatened status, the 3rd Saturday in February is observed as World Pangolin Day. a day dedicated to not only celebrating, but raising awareness about this truly unique mammal. Turritopsis Dohrnii, the only biologically immortal animal. Turritopsis Dohrnii is a species of jellyfish that was first discovered in the Mediterranean Sea in the 1800s. However, this tiny jellyfish, which measures just 0.18 inches across, is not only an extraordinary survivor, but also has a remarkable ability that sets it apart from any other animal on the planet. It is the one and only biologically immortal animal, otherwise known as the immortal jellyfish. These small, transparent animals hang out in oceans around the world and, like all jellyfish, begin their life cycle as larvae called planulae. The planula will first swim and then settle on the seafloor before growing into a cylindrical colony of polyps. Multiple young will then bud off from the polyp, which will spawn into the medusae, adult, we know as jellyfish. What sets these jellyfish apart is that any time they are faced with environmental stress, aging, physical damage, or starvation, Turritopsis Dohrnii can take a leap back in their development process by activating a series of genetic switches which then initiates a reversal of its cells, causing the jellyfish to go back to the polyp stage, essentially rewinding time. This phenomenon is due to a process known as transdifferentiation, in which one mature adult cell that is specialized for a particular tissue is converted into an entirely different type of specialized cell. Yellow-spotted salamander, the only known solar-powered vertebrate. The spotted salamander is bluish-black in color and distinctively marked with 2 rows of bright yellow or orange spots. It measures approximately 7 inches long. They can be found throughout forests in the eastern United States and Canada. Yet, despite their bright markings, these salamanders are not easy to locate, as they are only active at night. The yellow-spotted salamander, however, is completely unique because its embryos use the sun for energy, making them the only known solar-powered vertebrate. Near the beginning of each spring, adults go to pools of water where there are no fish in order to mate and breed and ensure their larvae won't be eaten by any potential predators. Unfortunately, fishless ponds don't contain very much oxygen. Thankfully, the yellow-spotted salamander eggs have formed a symbiotic relationship with the algae in the pools. Females will lay 2 to 4 masses of up to 250 eggs, affixing them to submerged twigs and plants in gelatinous capsules approximately the size of a tennis ball. The eggs and embryos will then be colonized by tiny green algae, which invade the baby salamander's tissues and cells. Once there, the algae will stay near the mitochondria, which creates energy for the cells and provides a metabolic form of glucose. During this process, the algae provides oxygen and carbohydrates to the salamander's cells, raising the oxygen content of the egg, removing waste, and allowing for normal embryonic development. In turn, the ammonia waste from the embryos provides a nitrogen-rich environment for the algae to feed on. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.